What is up, my little demented necrophiliacs? I'm playing Soulcalibur ⅵ, and somebody asked me, how do I create more created characters? Because I've run out of spaces, so I'm gonna show them via this video. Hee. Now, Soulcalibur ⅶ was very naughty to me earlier on. Basically, it decided to update the game, and when it done that, it deleted all my created characters. But it redeemed itself because it brought them all back straight away after the update. But it was a long hour for me because we have really bad internet. So yeah, that's what I don't like about video games is they have to be updated, and that's just fucking annoying. Anyway, you click on creation mode, you press R1, which brings you over to customization. Basically, this section that we're in now is for created content from other users. So you click on no data. So you do, and you download a character. Now you can have a look and see if there's a character which you want to keep. You know, there's many characters out there that are really good. Like, she doesn't look too bad. I mean, she'd be easy enough to make, but you kind of get the drift. Now I can't download her because she's using a fighting style from which I don't currently acquire. So you download the character like so, and you finish editing. Now I'm going to talk you through it now. Hold on. Now see the way it says creator online ID is aka Fox. Well, what you do is you edit the character from top to bottom. So you do. Change the name to Stanley, I guess that works. Go to body. Change everything. Let's make him a human. Why not? So basically the character has been changed 100% now. So he is officially yours. Ta-da! Just that simple. Well, technically yes. Um, he's called Stanley. Let's give him some costumes. Generate at random. Come on. Oh my, hello Stanley. Whoa, woohoo. And we have created Stanley. Wow. Oh yes. Now this is important. You have to change everything as I said. Look at that. It's just like fixed gazed. You can look at me. Change the background to something. Yeah, that's good. Frame. I don't usually use frames, so I'm just going to take them off altogether. But you can pick different frames and stuff if you really, really want. There you go. Stanley is finished. Ta-da! Now that's just a rough fucking creation. That's not something major. Now as you can see, it still says aka Foxler. But as you can see, I've done it so many times. And the username has changed to Demented Nun. Because I gave the characters an overhaul and I created original characters. So yeah, it's a way of getting more characters in your game. Um, Now I will point out every character you create, see, every character you create is online. It's in community creations. You know what I mean? So every single one of these characters is in community creations. So you can't really fucking nothing you can do, and I'm sure there's people that's downloaded your characters. I'm not sure if you can find out if people have downloaded your characters, but yeah. But anyway, yeah, you just edit the character. Now let's exit and go back and I will show you. And then I'm going to show you my characters that I created because somebody just wanted me to. So I said I would do it if I had time. Now it may not have changed, but we're going to check back and see. Ah, see, it changed to Demented Nun. I mean, it doesn't mean anything. I mean, there's no stats or there's no fucking anything really. It just doesn't mean anything. And the reason I have a lot of the same character downloaded so I can edit basically is I just download the first character. I mean, I have really bad internet. And let's talk about Hitler. The first character to download for the longest time, for me anyway, because it's different for everyone. It's just random. But the first character was Hitler. And the reason I downloaded 15 Hitlers is because it took so long to load other characters that I was going to edit the character anyway, so it didn't really make any matter to me who I was downloading because they were just going to be original. Anyway, so let's go back to the start. And we're going to do this real quick. This character is based on Debbie from the Addams Family. Yeah, I create her in wrestling, where she looks a bit different, obviously, and I created her in Mortal Kombat Armageddon, where she looked exactly the way she does now. Yeah, she's okay. She has Ivy's moveset, and Ivy's moveset is very difficult to use. This is a new creation. I've never created her before. I wanted to create a skeleton wearing a dress, and I did. And she was super weak, and she was dying very fast, so I created a skeleton wearing a dress, and then I gave her a hat. Ta-da! I gave her a Viking helm with no horns. And she looks cool. She looks like one of those 1980s villains that pop up in like a cartoon or something. Death. Just wanted to create a crazy fucking witchy style character with claws, and that's what I created. And I wanted her to look like that she goes into trances, and that explains the picture. She's a new creation. Luan, just an Egyptian golem with a big axe, like statue with a big axe. I don't have anything to say about her. TNT is one of my favorite movie characters, so I created her as best I could. But she's 90% original. The only thing that's that I kept about TNT was the hair and the name. Um, I've always I create her all the time. Armageddon, wrestling, and Soulcalibur. And I really like the tiger skin. I love that character. It's just so cool looking, so original. Um, she has Sophitia's moves. She's okay. Could be better. Ming, Ming, Ming Dynasty is part of a clan that has 7 sisters. 2 of the sisters, Ming and Su Min, feature in wrestling, but Ming is the only character that features in basically every game where there's a creation mode. Yep, and she looks exactly like that in wrestling as well. So she does, except for the hat. But her sister wears the hat, who's her manager. But yeah, she looks exactly the same in every game, so there's no real difference. Of course, she has different moves, obviously. I mean, the games are different. I wanted to create somebody who was attending a masquerade ball, but kind of a medieval person who had a breeding fetish or something. Mature from King of Fighters. I created her as best I could with the limited equipment. She does look a lot better now because they've updated her character, rather than wearing the real retro dress. Celeste. Celeste is part of a group of people called the Celestians, and they've only ever appeared in Soulcalibur because that's the only game I've ever created them in. They appeared in the last one where they appeared in all the games you could create a character. They've appeared in all the Soulcalibur games. I mean, one of them did appear in. They're all called Celeste, so I don't really have the Celestians, but I'll just call them Celeste. One of them did appear in Mortal Kombat Armageddon, but oh well. Rini. I wanted to create a creepy gothic style evil white witch, so she looks like she's good but she's evil. So she's just a witch wearing a flower dress. She looks pretty neat actually. You know, simplicity sometimes wins. Jacqueline. Jacqueline is a fucking demonic bitch with a trident. Yeah, she's very powerful. She's very good. Mavis would be one of Ming's sisters, but she's more kind of like, is she dead or is she alive kind of style. Now, of course, the storylines don't cross over into the wrestling franchise. Some of the characters do, but totally different. Because I'm being a creative person, I write stories on the characters and whatnot. But I will point out the wrestling stories don't really work with the medieval stories of Soulcalibur 6. But she still has seven sisters, Ming does. And they do cross over sometimes. But we're limited to 100 creation slots in the wrestling universe. So I tend not to bother. Annie Anne is one of the Celestians. She is. She's a little leprechaun Celestian. So she is, and she's blind, but she can see the world through her mind, so she doesn't actually have to see. Grandmother Sengar is a Magic the Gathering card, actually, and she's locked up in she's a demonic witch that is locked up in a guard tower till all eternity, and she can't die, so she just fucking becomes more prunish. Yeah, she's one of the Sengars. They're one of the biggest clans in Magic the Gathering, and she is an evil bitch. So she's locked up with her spell book. She can still do spells from her guard tower where she's chained up for life, but she can't do any spells to remove the chains and stuff. That's what I gather from her backstory. Seller of Songbird is another Magic the Gathering card. So she is. She sells songbirds. There is an alternative version of Seller of Songbirds, where she sells dragons, but it's not actually called Seller of Dragons. It's called something else, Dragon Tamer or something. You can do a bit of research if you want. I didn't really. I just kind of seen her pop up in another card. Auspicious Ancestor is another Magic the Gathering card. Lenny. Big Lenny makes a crossover from wrestling to Soulcalibur 6. Basically, she's a shot put champion, a javel throw champion, and yeah, that's all. No in between. Fugitive Wizard is a relatively crap Magic the Gathering card, but after all, he is a wizard, so he could easily perform some spells and whatnot. As you can tell, he's actually holding a sword, but I removed it for the picture, so it looks like he's actually conjuring some sort of spell. Vincenza is another Celestian. The Celestians are a people, but it's also a place as well. They're a tribe of Irish warriors that I created, the Celestians. Carmen. Carmen is just a random creation that looks crap. Yeah, she needs to be edited. Some of these need to be edited. Um, Millie. Millie is a pathfinding Native American. She's on a journey and a quest. Gwendolyn is, once again, she is a kind of like an evil Celestian. So she is. But she's kind of like the queen of the evil side. Martha. Martha is not a Celestian. She is Millie's sister. And she is on a quest looking for Millie while Millie is trying to find herself. Mrs. Trunchbull, what can I say? She makes an appearance in wrestling and Soulcalibur games. Oh well, I just like the character. She's so evil. Like, how could you not make Mrs. Trunchbull? Headline. Basically, I wanted to make a character with their body covered in words. And then I found this pattern of old newspapers, which is in the game. So yeah, headline. It just kind of worked, you know? And I was like, oh, I can't write on people in this game. See, I get wrestling and this game mixed up. You know the way when you have so many different creation modes and the Sims and whatnot. And then I was like, yeah, that works. So headline is just a person with words on her. But they could be words from, I don't know, I never thought about it. The Grand High Witch from The Witches, if you've seen that movie. Angelica Houston. She's one of my favourite characters. She's so simple. A little small black dress and a black trident with a bob cut hair. And some evil jewellery just to kind of give her a little bit of effect that she can conjure up spells and stuff. She's just amazing. I mean, look, simple. Simplicity. Just looks like the Grand High Witch. If her hair was a bit longer, it'd be good. But once again, we're spoiled for choice for hairstyles. Savannah. Savannah is an African god, and she's on the prowl to find something. I didn't really, um, I didn't really put much thought into her story. Paulina, just a skinny pirate chick that just happened to be able to handle herself. She can hold her own. That's the whole point of her. She's meant to be petite. You know, like Rania, the Irish pirate girl. The Dazzler. With flame tassels. Do not ask me why they are there. Oh my lord. See, the Dazzler... the Dazzler projects light, so I was going to have them at her hands, you know. And then I just stuck them there and I never removed them. They just kind of worked, you know. I was just like, you know what? I don't care. Fuck it. She's going to have flaming breasts. Oh god, Mrs. Doubtfire. Flaming breasts. No, does that make sense? Anyway, the Dazzler is one of my favourite superheroes. And yeah, I created the Dazzler. Just like that. I don't like the Dazzler's blue outfit with the short hair and the fucking lightning bolt. I just really haven't got time for that. Asbestos Lady is a Marvel superhero. Super villain, should I say, from the 1940s. She's dead. Because asbestos kills you, and that's what they done. Well, they didn't actually kill her off. They done nothing with her. They just faded her away into non-existence and just left it at that. Better to say nothing than nothing at all. Now, better to say nothing than something. In this case, should I say? Beatrice. Yeah, she's a chef. A crazy chef with a big fucking whisk. And that's why I called her Beatrice. Because, like, chefs like to batter. You know, batter, beat. Beat the eggs, Beatrice. So I gave her this big fucking whisk. I should have made her bigger looking, you know, more muscular. But I decided not to. I did at one stage. And then I was like, no, it doesn't work. Cristiano is just a regular guy. I suppose I'll click on him. He doesn't really have a backstory. I just wanted to create a sexy goth. And then I created him, and it looks like he needs a hairbrush. Winifred Sanderson from Hocus Pocus. This was my attempt at creating the Sanderson sisters from Hocus Pocus. Once again, we're limited to what we can use. So I tried my best to create her. And weirdly enough, you can't even notice it, but she has flowers in her hair. And they're coloured the same colour as her hair to kind of give her hair a more poofy effect. Dress is alright, the dress works and the colours, but it's just not. Vivian is Ming's evil sister. So Ming and Su Min are the good side, and then you have Vivian and a few others which are evil. I like Vivian. Let's click on her again actually. There's just something about her that just looks cool. Doesn't it? It just looks like, yeah. I like a bit of Viv. And then the evil eyes is just like, ha. Bit of Viv. And once again, I wanted to create a gothic, sexy goth dude that probably resembled Marilyn Manson. So I came up with Jake, who, when I made muscular and skinny, no longer has an ass. Oh, well, what can you do? He has a pancake ass now. That's not fair. I wanted to give him a big bubble butt and a skinny body. Cryogenics is a girl. Cryogenics doesn't mean anything for fire. She should have been called pyrotechnics. I can't pronounce that word. But I called her cryogenics because it's kind of opposite. She puts out fires, so she does, because she freezes things. But she can also make fires, so there's a little bit sketchy about her. She was a mistake that turned into something amazing. Barbara. Barbara is just a Nigerian. No, she's not Nigerian, is she? Yes, she is. She's a Nigerian queen from back in the day that's going to fucking show you a thing or two. Now, the next character I'm going to show you, I wanted to create a living fly. You heard me. I wanted to create a living fly that was a warrior. And, yeah. So I created, ta-da, Flesh Fly. Doesn't she look fucking cool? Flesh Fly. With her big sword and her fucking red fucking bloody sword. So she can inject you. What do you think of Flesh Fly? Do you think she looks cool? See, when I put my mind down to it, I can actually create really, really amazing characters. But then again, simplicity is just as good as other stuff. Iris is just a white angel that has a pet crow. And not because there's a crow in the background of the picture. I actually created her with a pet crow. Orangutina. My partner at the time created her, and she kind of just grew and she crossed over into this game. So she was created in the last Soulcalibur and the one before that. Well, as it's been around a while, hasn't it? The creation mode in Soulcalibur. But yeah, she's a warrior, 6'2", 100 and something pounds, fucking Amazonian warrior, Orangutina. Because orangutans are like wild beasts. And she is K. Okay, I tried to make Tank Girl. And it didn't quite work out. Making Tank Girl, with the rocket bikini. So I just ended up making a character called K. I wanted to delete her. And I wanted to get rid of her. But she was so unique in a weird kind of way that I decided, you know what? I'm going to leave her. I mean, look, she actually is weirdly unique. Yeah, I mean, you don't zoom that close in when you're in a match, obviously. I mean, from a distance, you can't even tell. Yeah, see? It's just cool looking, I thought. In a weird kind of way. Then I created formaldehyde. And I got a bit adventurous with the cones again. But this time, I created fucking something else. Formaldehyde. Demonic beast. That looks like Cruella de Vil. Weirdly. She's not meant to though. I just said that now. I wanted to create a Miss World, but I wanted to create a Miss World that kept coming second in everything. She couldn't quite win anything, so she kept coming second. She is also in wrestling. Um, Orangatina is in wrestling. Asbestos Lady is in wrestling. Vivian. But once again, as I said, they all look different. Um, the Crazy Miss World is in wrestling as well. But yeah, I wanted to create a character that kept losing. She always kept coming second, no matter what she did. So she's meant to be like this really angry bitch that just can't win. So now she became a warrior and takes it out on everybody. She studied the dark arts and she's like, I might not win, but I'm number one as far as I'm concerned, kind of. So yeah. Getting revenge at the world for coming second all the time. Lucretia. Lucretia is pretend. She's the goddess of fruit, and that's what I decided to call her. Lucretia, the goddess of fruit. As you can see, she's wearing a big apple bikini. Weirdly enough, she doesn't look too comedic. She actually looks like she could be a real fighter, and that's what I wanted. I didn't want her to look too silly, but she's kind of looks good. If you see her weapon, it's a little bit better. You know, the goddess of fruit and vitality, Lucretia. Now, Elora is one of my favorite characters. The Elorans are part of the Celestians. They live in the same land. And there you go, there's the Eloras. I think she looks amazing. She has a massive brain, as you can tell. But I don't know whether that's actually her brain, but that's just how she looks. I haven't quite decided yet. I still have to think about that. She can control the weather, night to day. Connie, just a random creation. Doesn't have a backstory. I just thought she could like have X-ray boobs or something. Kind of like some cyborg chick with like laser boobs and stuff. I know it sounds silly, but it's not supposed to really, I guess. Spike. Yeah, enough said. I think Spike just has spikes. Some demonic um demon from hell that comes up with spikes. Ling is Ming's sister. I don't know whether she's evil or good. She's just Ling for now because I haven't decided. She looks evil, but yeah. I wanted to give her horns of some description, so I did. Isn't it racist to say she's in her tribal outfit? But considering I created the character, I don't think it's racist. Another Celestian. I guess all the Celestians could be the same person, but they're not really. Even though they look like it, they're not. They're not. Yeah, they're all different. Another Celestian. She looked good. Petra, the goddess of love. But she's evil. She can control love and lust and sex. And she's a fighter as well, obviously. I mean, she's a witch. But she's a fighter too. And I think she looks pretty neateroo, don't you? She steals people's hearts and stores them in her bra, which is another portal to another universe. Goddess. A giant fucking Greek goddess. Pure and simple. Straight to the point. A pure 6'2", 200 pound, pure goddess, pure muscle. No spells, no nothing, just a pure trained fighter. Liz, gothic chick. No, she is not. Hello, Liz. How are you? Liz is a demonic socialite that can turn herself demonic, and she's a witch as well. So she relatively keeps herself to herself, and then she decides, I want something and I'm going to get it. Gothic chick called Matilda, based on Lydia from Beetlejuice, but that was scrapped very early on in the creation, and I ended up creating an original creation. This is her first game. She has appeared in wrestling once, a long time ago. Lily Lee, also a wrestler, but she's based on somebody that I love. They Their name is Lily, and they are a big fan of Stan Lee. So yeah, here they are. Lily Lee. Cynthia Rothrock from the movie China O'Brien. She wears blue denim, but I gave her red. Um, yeah. She has a stick that she uses quite a lot in China O'Brien. Tasuka. She can create she is a goddess of sea. Once again, fictional goddess of sea. I'm sure there is an actual goddess of the sea. She can control water. But she's a hell of a fighter as well. They're all witches. They can do other spells as well, not just. Now, I decided I wanted to make somebody, and it's like, who could I make that would be so obscure for a fucking Soulcalibur fighting game? So I made Jessica Fletcher from Murder, She Wrote. There she is in her fucking pantsuit. Her defensive shield so she can deflect all the evilness. Just Jessica Fletcher. I didn't call her Jessica Fletcher though, I just called her Jessica. But it was similar to Jessica Fletcher. So I guess she could be considered a medieval sleuth. Cleopatra Jones from the movie Cleopatra Jones, one of my favourite movies of all time. They don't have guns in this game, but that stick really fits the character. Mary Sanderson from Hocus Pocus. Now you're probably wondering how all these characters are. Yeah, I had to do a bit of creation with the hairstyle. You're probably wondering how some of these characters are all over the place. I mean, why aren't the Sanderson sisters in order? Well, basically, I edited some characters. That's why. Wolverine. Wolverine looks terrible. He's terrible. He's crap. He's just terrible. But he looks okay with the claws. But yeah, he's not a very good creation. I'm holding my hands up and saying that. Spider. Spider is from Inspector Gadget, the cartoon, which I used to watch when I was a kid. So yeah, I created Spider based on the character from Inspector Gadget. I wanted to create a walking, living TV that sucks you in, sucks your soul in, but can also fight. So I created Deathbox. And that's what she is. She is a death box. She uses media to suck your soul. And that is why she is on the front of Time magazine. Cherokee is Millie's sister, the Native American, another sister. 3 sisters. Joker. I wanted to kind of create the Cesar Romero style, but it was very difficult to do, so I just opted for the best I could do. And he doesn't look bad, he's simple enough to make. Laureline, Um, Random creation doesn't really have a backstory. I wanted to make a hat using something, and I did. I created a hat with a bow. That is actually a steering wheel from a ship, and I put some gauze on top and a bow on front. Loreline, I guess she could be a traveller. Travels the world, on her camel and whatnot. She doesn't have a backstory. Shamrock is a superhero from Marvel. She's a real deal. She didn't really take off because she was too cliche. She's an Irish superhero that is a barmaid and a hairdresser of all things. She has superpowers. I forget what powers she has, but she has the basic powers: super strength, speed, and agility, and the usual fucking basic shit. And that is pretty much what she looks like to an extent. I mean, she just wears all green, but I decided to spice her up a little bit and make her look a little bit better. And her name is Shamrock. Her real name is Rosie, I think. No, we don't need to look at her. I'll show you everyone, I suppose. Girl with a goat head. No backstory. I just wanted to make a character wearing a goat head. Fabiola is part of the Ming dynasty. I don't know who she is to Ming or if she's a sister. She's just part of that story. In one of the stories I wrote, she just stands there and looks. She's glazing in the distance, and I was like, that sounds really deep. So I just left it there. So yeah. Um, she was meant to be called Ladybug, but it just didn't work. I almost think she's too big. Sheila. Now, who is Sheila? Well, I will tell you who Sheila is. Everybody in the game has a good and an evil. They have somebody to have a rival with, if you know what I mean. And the Grand High Witch, her rival is Sheila. And who is Sheila? Well, Sheila is the little old woman from the movie The Witches. And the character of grandmother Sheila was a witch, a white witch. And so we have the good versus evil. She has a spear rather than a sword because it just suited her better, you know. So yeah, she is the equal to Grand High Witch. She is her nemesis. I guess that's the word to use. We have Anna Williams from Tekken wearing a blue dress. Nina Williams in a purple catsuit with Talkie's moves, which makes sense because Nina's a super spy, a secret agent, should I say. Scorpion. Scorpion looks pretty neateroo, I think. Doesn't look too bad. He does have a belt on, an extra belt, and some shoulder pads, but only for his armor because he was very weak and he needed something because he's meant to be a strong character, and if they don't have much armor on, they lose life real fast, and I didn't want him losing life fast. So yeah, Ashra from Mortal Kombat, as best I could. She wears a veil so you can't see her face, but coincidentally and weirdly enough, you never get to see her face when she's in a match, so it kind of works. She's not a very well known character. She's actually a nun, a demon hunter. So she's a demon disguised as a white nun, like purifying nun, not color. White nun that is meant to protect souls and purify them, but in fact she steals them. And weirdly enough, her sword, the sword that fucking Ashra uses in Mortal Kombat, actually happened to be in the game. A Chris sword. Now in this it's called a two-handed sword, but in real life it's called a Chris. And in Mortal Kombat it's called a Chris sword. Vice from King of Fighters. You can Google some of these to see if I done a good job. It's best I could. Dorothy, never mind. I was requested to make Marge Simpson as a challenge, and I did. Hello, Marge. So yeah, I've never used her, and I don't intend to. Jade from Mortal Kombat. She's very weak because she's basically naked. Something about her breasts are just perfect though. But yeah, Jade being a zombified creature now, and I'm a little bit confused how the Mortal Kombat story has decided to change and be a bit odd. So anyhow, I just decided to go in between. Sharon is from Street Fighter. She looks crap. Sarah Sanderson from Hocus Pocus. Maisie is nobody really important. I don't know who she is. Tanya from Mortal Kombat. When I was using Talum, I realized she had the same stance and weapons as Tanya, so that's where Tanya came from. Tanya's skin color is a little bit off, but the in-game skin colors are off anyway, so there's nothing I could do. This is not actually Shiva. It's Shiva inspired character, so it is, but it's not actual Shiva. I was meant to change her name to Queen of the Goats. But I didn't. I just left it as Shiva. What's great about this is they give you different weapons for each character, which means the way I look at it is, um, each character has a specific fighting style, and the main roster just happens to be the best in that particular fighting style. So your created characters come a close second. But it's great that they have so many different swords because it just means like, okay, of like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, if 7 of my created characters had the same moveset, it totally looked different because they have different swords, and the swords do contain different moves as well. Not many, but a few different moves. I will point that out. Basically what I done was, this is Frost from Mortal Kombat. I played MK11. I seen Frost. I was really confused how she was a cyborg robot now. So I got down my PS2, stuck in my Mortal Kombat Armageddon, and I created her based on that. Irene is an Irish barmaid who lives in Celestial Town. So she is. So she's a barmaid that can handle herself when it comes to fighting. So if she had to swore off a big giant dragon, she could probably do it. Must I show you this character? Jokey character, the landlady from Kung Fu Hustle. Didn't quite work out how I planned, but yeah. Don't ask. Katana. Basically, Katana uses giant fans as weapons, and Voldo used to have giant fans for weapons, you know. But sadly, they're not in this game. They might be in the DLC, but I don't think so. But that's close enough. I think she looks pretty perfect. See, I didn't like the characters in MK11, so I decided I was going to make them in this. I just added. Kula is a character from King of Fighters, and she pretty much looks like that. Sometimes she wears a dress, and sometimes she has pink hair. Her name is Kula Diamond. La Luna is just a white witch, a white angel witch. And I think I have Illa Nighttime. Oh, Death Angel would be the evil version of La Luna. But I was meant to Google the Nighttime, the opposite. Although La Luna is night because it means darkness. I think it means the moon. So yeah, I just never mind. I done all the research already, and I realized I was like, oh yeah, obviously. Bernadette is meant to be a robot style character, cyborgish, medieval cyborg. Asia Kong is a wrestler in real life. Ruby Thursday is a Marvel villain. One of the most powerful Marvel villains, if she wasn't so stupid. She likes to talk a lot and question things and just be like, what about this? And what about that? And what if? So she's kind of like, doesn't really use her power to her ability. But I don't think she really wants to be that evil. I think she just does what she does when she wants. She's a very rare character, but yeah, I like her. One of my favorites. Enya, I guess. Watched the music video of Enya, and it was called The Celts, and she was wearing a red dress with a hood, and she had a green staff. So I decided to make um beautiful gothic styled themed singer Enya. I love Enya. So relaxing. But her music always reminds me of funerals. And Video Wave is another version of Deathbox. But they're two different characters, obviously. You know the way the lines on a video player. Belle is not. I don't really know who she is. I wanted to create a witch, so I did. Hilda the Witch. Pretty basic witch, but yeah. Garden Nun. So she's a nun that, strangely enough, can fight and swore off demons if she has to. And she doesn't have any hair because I don't actually know. Oh well, fair enough. Maybe she's not finished. Ruby is a pirate. It's zombified pirate. So she is. And she's big and muscular, which is amazing. I like Ruby. And then we come over to this side. I didn't create that character. Oh yeah, Baraka from Mortal Kombat. Ta-da! What do you think? Does he look the part? Cool. Now these characters have to be edited of course. Obviously. I don't know who she is. Black Widow. Black Widow is not associated with Batman or Marvel. DC or Marvel. She's an original creation that I created. I think she looks pretty neat. Black Widow. Demonic bitch with poison in her bones. No, do not even. Did you see the name of that character? Never mind. Sometimes I make weird characters because I'm bored. Sub-Zero. There you go. Simple. Just a similar clone to Scorpion, but in his own right different. She-Hulk. Pretty basic, but effective. They should make a fighting game with just a creation mode, and you can have like hundreds of moves, like thousands of moves, and you just create the character and give them moves and whatnot. Wouldn't that be cool? Spider Woman. Because community creations is amazing. Mortal Kombat missed out big style. But then again, when Mortal Kombat were desexualizing their characters, there's nothing they could actually do, really, you know? Because if they had a creation mode, people would make sexy characters, and that would be really bad. That character is crap. I never finished her. Jubilee from X-Men. There you go, look. Jubilee from X-Men. And her special ability is fireworks. So, yeah, I think she looks pretty neat, don't you? She was quite fun to make in wrestling as well. Um, Mystique from X-Men. Squirrel Girl from Marvel Comics. She once dated Big Bertha, and she also dated Deadpool, who was her best friend. But of course, when the movies decide to make movies, they just ignore the fact that Deadpool used to be part of Big Bertha's team. Kate Bush, I just singer that I like. Just decided to make her from a music video I seen. Lady Appeline. She's kind of a cowgirl, you know, that owned the saloon, should I say, saloon. Yeah, simple but effective. Um, I she doesn't no. Basically, she's called Whiteout. She's just kind of a ghosty character. Unknown Tanya Maurice is an annoying character. She's meant to be just kind of a bigger chick that just really fucking thinks she owns the place, and she looks very tacky, but she's supposed to. Tanya Maurice. Matador Lucia. Matador Lucia is basically a Spanish bullfighter, and she's in the Spanish colours of red and yellow, but she's wearing gold because it looks better. Red and yellow. Her hair is not red because of the Spanish flag. Her hair happens to be red because it just suits her. Just had to say that in case someone was like, oh, red, yellow, red, yellow. No, her hair happens to be red because it suits her. Babs wire. She's meant to look like she's wearing lots of barbed wire, but yeah. I don't really know about the character. Lina. And this is my last character. Hello, Lina. I was gonna call her Lime, but I decided to call her Lina. She doesn't have a backstory, as I just created her 10 minutes ago. Just random creation that may or may not hang around. Stanley. Ooh. A random creation that I made a moment ago. Anyhow, I think that's the end of it. Now, when I do get down to 50 characters left, so when I create the next 8 characters, and look, there's still loads left here, look, to edit, that I have to edit, see. Um, I'm going to leave so many characters, like 1, 2, 3, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. So 55 characters I'm going to leave for people to create them if they come over and stuff, you know? Give them a chance to do something too. I'm happy with my 100 and fucking 60 characters. But see, look, you fill it up real fast, don't you, without even noticing. Anyhow, that's been my characters, and thanks for watching, I guess. I'd upload them for you if I could, but they're already uploaded, and I really don't know how to search on the DLC. But anyway, have fun.